Hey guys, it's Jace. I'm here with a new video. So I know you're looking at the title and I'm like, what does Mariah Carey have to do with K-pop? And I'll explain. So basically today, I walked by television and I saw it was a news story about Mariah Carey and the fact that she had, revealed that she suffers from bipolar disorder. And the fact that she's been suffering from it since 2001 and she told nobody. Like, I mean, I'm assuming the people around her knew, but the public had no idea. And when you think about it, Mariah Carey, she came out swinging like what 1990 when she came out. So I literally grew up with Mariah Carey, and she's always released material. If I'm correct, I think she released about 4 or 5 albums in the entire decade of the 90s. But yeah, she was always active. And then, not only that, but she ended up getting married in the 90s, but then she ended up getting divorced. And so I just remember she ended like 2001 when she had her public breakdown. I remember that shit. Like, people thought that, oh, Mariah's she's on drugs, blah, 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 because of her, like, erratic behavior and all that other stuff. And I just remember that episode of TRL where she just literally shows up out of nowhere in, like, a tank top, some shorts, and some heels, and she's, like, passing out ice cream. Like, the whole interview was awkward because no one knew she was coming. She just showed up and stuff like that. And, and then I remember, like, maybe sometime after that, she did an interview where she was like, yeah, like, she didn't stop. Like, she was constantly working. Like, think about it. Like, she was pretty much working the entire decade of the 90s. From when she came out, when she was a teenager, to now as a grown woman. Just constantly working, making albums, doing interviews, photo shoots, touring. And in America, like, American artists, when they go on tour, and they do multiple legs. Like, they will go everywhere. They'll go around the world literally twice. It's literally like that. Though, like, I've known artists that will go on tour for like 2 years. Like, I know Beyonce is known for doing that, going on tour for like 2 years. I know, like, Gaga's known for doing that. I know, like, I remember, like, Justin Timberlake's, when she did the 2020 experience, like, he was on tour for, like, 2 years. So, and mind you, between all of that time, he had a kid. You know what I'm saying? So, it was, like, crazy, like, when artists go, in America, or I think even, like, in the UK, like, they will go on tour for, like, years. Whereas, like, in K-pop, they don't go on tour for, like, a whole year. They'll do like a few months, but just think about Lily performing for an entire, like, year or two. It's absolutely insane. And then it also makes me think about like, her behavior even more recently, the past few years. Like, just people think that, oh, Mariah's just being a diva or whatever, and then, like, the whole, like, thing with the New Year's Eve situation. Come to find out, the woman was suffering from bipolar disorder. And then it also makes you think definitely about Britney Spears. Like, again, a girl that came out when she was 16 years old and blew up, and she was literally everywhere. Like, she was pumping out music, she was performing everywhere. She was, like, music's princess, and she was always releasing. She was always active. But then, as she got older, she wanted to be more, more risque, be more mature, and not kind of do, like, that bubblegum shit she was doing when she first came out. And people was always judging her for everything she did. She was constantly under the paparazzi's microscope, and not even just the paparazzi, but just the public, period. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, 2007, she just snapped. Like, she had her kids, but then she ended up getting a divorce, and she literally snapped, shaved her head, and she was just out here just she was snapping. Like, she literally snapped. And Britney ain't never gonna be the same. And that's really sad, because another person that I absolutely loved growing up was Britney Spears. Like, I wanted to be her when I was a little girl. And just to see, like, all the things that happened to her. I mean, I still love Britney, but you can definitely tell, like, things ain't the same. She'll never be the same Britney after everything that's happened to her. I mean, I'm glad that she's, like, in better spirits now. Like, she's happy, you know what I'm saying? She's doing great in Las Vegas and stuff like that. But yeah, like, and then, you know, like, and I know you're wondering, like, well, what the hell's the correlation? And the correlation between, like a Britney and a Mariah to K-pop is mental health. You know, because when you think about it, these K-pop acts, they go through the same shit. They're constantly in the training room rehearsing new material for a new album. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly doing interviews and photo shoots and music shows, and some groups are even, like, traveling to multiple countries to do things, and they're always moving and shaking. Some people have to do shows, like, either, like, twice a day, or just, like, maybe about 5 or 6 shows a week. Like, they don't really have time for themselves. They spend time with their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're constantly just moving and shaking, and it's like, you know, they have horrible sleeping habits, eating habits. You know what I'm saying? They're always stressed out. You know, sometimes people's weights go up and down, things like that. It's like, so it's like there is a correlation with each other, and especially with mental health. And, you know, I wanted to make this video because, you know, I've been thinking about BTS lately, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm worried about them because, you know, we already know that they dropped their Japanese album, and it looks like they're going to be dropping a new Korean album. And I'm not going to lie, I'm probably the fucking minority here. I wish they didn't. I wish they would not release something, because think about it. They're going on 5 years. This will be, I think, like June? Yeah, June, I say, will be BTS' 5th year anniversary. They have literally been pumping out music since 2013. They haven't had a break. They've literally just been moving. Like, not only do they have a lot of stuff, I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you think about it, in 5 years, that's a lot of albums that they've released in 5 years. Not just in Korea, but also in Japan. Like, they released a bunch of singles in Japan, and they just released, like, their 3rd studio album in Japan. Like, they're moving, and I understand that, you know, they're popping now in America and all that shit, but I kind of wish they took a break. And especially after, you know, watching some of the Burn the Stage show. I've been able to watch all the episodes because I don't have YouTube Red, but from what I've been, like, hearing and stuff, like, they, you know, there's been times where they've been, like, really, like, exhausted and stressed out and stuff like that. And think about, like, they were on a world tour. Like, they were all over Asia, and they did, like, I think they were in Canada. They did multiple stops in America. They had, like, 2 shows in Jersey. They had 2 shows in LA. I think they went to Atlanta. I can't remember, but I know that they also they added Chicago. I think they did stuff in Mexico. They had shows in South America. Like, they were everywhere during that Wings tour in 2017, like early last year. And you know what I'm saying? And, you know, yeah, it's like they've really just been, like, just moving. And now I said, I get it, they're popping, but I really do felt like they should have took a break, at least not for, like, a whole year, because I know they're, like, really popping, but at least for a few months. You know what I'm saying? Because in this time, they're still doing stuff. Like, J-Hope just dropped the mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they're doing stuff in Japan. They're still doing, like, commercials and shit. Like I said, I kind of just wish that they took a bit of a break, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I hate BTS, because I absolutely love BTS, but I'm just worried about, just them, like their physical health and their mental health, because that is straining to constantly be, you know, living out of your suitcase, and you're in and out of planes and in and out of hotels, and you're constantly performing, and you're like exhausted, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And then especially like after everything with Jungyeon, I really just wish these companies would have their artists just slow down. Like, it's like K-pop has become so fast paced now. It's ridiculous. Like, not saying that it wasn't fast paced back in the day, but it's like you blink, it's a whole new group debuting. Some of them came out with the new album or whatever, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nothing's really like stretched out anymore. It's like it's like people are in competition with each other. So it's like, you can't be gone for like a year, because then people will forget you, and it's like a wrap. It's like exactly like with BAP. They were, you know, within 2012 alone, their debut year, they had 5 comebacks. In 1 year, that was their debut. I've never heard of anybody who debuts with 5 comebacks. Like, someone will have like 2 tops. Like, they will have like a mini album or a single album and one or the other or both, and that's it within the year of their debut. But I ain't never heard of anybody in K-pop that had 5 comebacks their debut year. Not a one. And then they were just constantly making music, and then, you know, the whole lawsuit thing happened. They were gone for most of 2015, and next thing you know, people just forgot about them. And, you know, so it's just like, yeah, it's like now that you really can't take a break. So it's like, you know, especially like people going to the military. Like, I mean, I'm not worried about people like Big Bang, because they're Big Bang, so they're good. But like, say if it was someone of like, you know, like a less popular, like not on Big Bang's level, like if they like decide to like either take a year break or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? People could like, I feel like fans nowadays are so fickle. It's like, if you ain't constantly pumping out this music, like, people will forget you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really wish that these companies would kind of slow it down a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the entire month of April shouldn't be jam-packed with comebacks, because that's been happening lately. Like, there were so many comebacks in March. I can't even, I was like, now I feel like I can't even keep up with everyone. Because I've been trying to listen to everyone's like albums and shit like that, but I literally can't keep up, because there's always something coming out, and it's like, Jesus, I gotta think, you know, oh, something else coming out, and blah 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 and stuff like that. It's becoming a bit overwhelming for me. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about this because I just found it interesting about what happened with Mariah Carey, but I did think, and it also made me think about, you know, just the same thing that K-pop artists have to go through and things like that. So yeah, so that was just my whole opinion on it. Let me know your opinion on a situation if you have heard about what's happened with Mariah Carey. If you have not, it's all over the news. A lot of people are gonna be talking about it now. But yeah, so like I said, just give me your honest opinions on things. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.